Yeah, I don't usually do this. I'm actually making 2 videos in one day. Just don't have time for it. I'm sure that, you know, we all have lives. But I wanted to give you the good news, or bad news, depending on how you look at it. I was watching Colonel McGregor on Redacted. That's another channel you can look at on YouTube, or basically on Rumble, because you won't get the information on YouTube because it's censored. Anyway, the ground, I've been telling you that the Russians have been waiting for the ground to be frozen. And right now the ground is frozen in northern Ukraine. Now in southern Ukraine it's still a mud bowl. So right now the Russian generals are just kind of biding their time. I didn't realize the massive troop buildup. I mean, when you think about it, you know, I don't think most people know that when we invaded Iraq, we only had combined throughout the world. I mean, when you had the Germans and the U.S. and everything, during the Gulf War, it was 350,000 troops. Basically, in 2003, the war that I fought, we only had 170,000 troops. Right now, according to General McGregor, and I'm just quoting him, you know, I don't know. I mean, am I over there? And, you know, am I embedded, which I would love to be? Maybe as my health improves, I might be able to travel and do some on-ground reporting, and I would love to do something like that. That'd be awesome. But right now, he's saying the Russians have 550,000 troops amassed, ready to deploy into a massive invasion that's just going to encircle and wipe out the Ukrainians. When that's going to happen could be sometime. I imagine, I'm predicting it's going to be sometime between now and the end of February, and that's and I'm just basing this on information that I get as I watch all these channels, Russian television. I know that you don't watch RT. Oh my God, Russian television. That's horrible. We can't watch anything else but, you know, CBS, NBC, ABC, CNDNC. You know, I mean, you know, why in the hell do everybody in America just want to watch the mainstream media that you know is just a propaganda arm of the U.S. government and the Democrat Party? I mean, I don't even understand it. Go out in the universe, get you a VPN, and watch other news. Right now, France, last I heard, they're semi in revolt. You know, so all these globalists, it looks like it's just, the whole world's gone crazy. I'm watching The World Burn Part 3, and I'm not going to entitle that because I want this to be about Ukraine. So what we're seeing is the decimation of what's left of the Ukrainian military. And you won't hear about this on the mainstream news. You won't hear. Watch ABC, watch NBC, watch, you know, CBS. Watch any of these channels. And I hope that we are just destroying them with our independent reporting on what's actually going on. Because guess what? 6 months from now, when the Ukrainian army is completely destroyed, or you're going to see a whole different slant. They're going to be like, oh, well, we didn't know that the Russian army and 550,000 troops were going to pour across the border. Once the ground froze and destroy Ukraine, the military. And by the way, and that's the good news that I wanted to give you, because I didn't understand the implication of these Patriot batteries. And you know, because they protected us when I was over in Iraq. But I'm not a Patriot battery person. I don't know anything about how those weapon systems work. And what he was pointing out was, okay, yeah, so what? We get them to Ukraine. Are they going to be effective? No, I mean, the hardware, he was saying it's like $20 million a missile or something. Or are you going to shoot down a $20,000 drone with a $20 million missile? I mean, think about it. You know, so how effective are those Patriot batteries going to be? I mean, if you had a Russian jet flying across, a 20 million, 25 million, or a billion, well, here in the United States, it's $1 billion jet. But I mean, if it's flying across, and yeah, that makes sense for a Patriot battery. But not right now. We're fighting the war, or Russia is, with $20,000 drones from, well, they're saying they're being supplied from Iran. So how effective are those Patriot batteries going to be? It sounds to me like they're not even going to become close to protecting the Ukrainians from what's coming. So when is the offensive going to take place? Well, if I was a Russian commander, think about it. If you study history, I would wait for the ground to freeze in the south. You got 500, I mean, can you imagine? I mean, when you look back in history, the Mongols, they took over basically all of Western Europe with, I don't know, 30,000 troops. You know, I mean, they stormed through and just wiped out villages and everything. 550,000. Now, unless you're going to deploy nukes, nothing's going to stop that. This is what NATO faces, and yet they still want to continue to prolong this proxy war. It's insanity. These globalist lunatics that are wasting your taxpayer money. We got people starving in the United States. We got people in California living in tents. And yet they want to continue to spend money on this stupid war? You tell me, man. I mean, I don't know. So I just wanted to make this second video, but I wanted to give you the good news because the war is going to be coming to an end one way or another, whether it's the world getting annihilated or Russia just wipes out the Ukrainians, which it looks like what they're going to do. Now you got to remember, and that's another thing I pointed out in a previous video, all the Russian money, I mean all the Ukrainian money has left. They're all in Morocco on their yachts. All those billions of dollars that the United States has sent to Ukraine went to these globalist elites, and they're all sitting down in Morocco drinking martinis with their yachts, and so they've abandoned Ukraine. So once the money, it's kind of like Venezuela. Once the money leaves a country, it's kind of, well, and that's, look at the United States. I live in Florida, thank God. All the money from New York and California has moved to Florida. Now, the federal government has been able to prop up these Democrat idiot states where they locked themselves down and just basically destroyed their industry. We're thriving here in Florida. So, yeah, you know. And then they're going to get desperate. Are we heading for civil war? I don't know, man. It's an interesting world. I just kind of watch the world burn. But I will entitle this Ukraine War Part 2 or something. Anyway, peace out, stay free. Good to live in the free state of Florida.